Jennifer, why did you send out that proposal? I hadn't even reviewed it yet.
Are you serious, Katie? It had to go out. We were gonna miss the deadline. Really?
We try not to behave like that when we work together. Truth is, many of us struggle to manage our reactions, especially when we experience strong emotions. Perhaps you've noticed that our society these days is a little tense, moody, sensitive, on edge. Sometimes navigating our own feelings or the feelings of others, it's like being in uncharted territory.
It is. And today, Katie and I are going to share with you 3 simple words that prevent us from going sideways with each other and wrecking our important connection. There's a proverb. It says, words build worlds. And that's because the meaning we each assign to words, it impacts our relationships. Now, humans, we also understand one another by inferring body language, energy, and tone. And that's why relationships, connection, collaboration, well, it can often feel like being in this mucky swamp.
This container represents relationships. And if you're human, you will interact daily, weekly with reactive emotions that can muddy the water between you and another. Now, Jennifer and I, we help people achieve clarity by coaching them to untangle their thinking and manage their behavior so that they can be terrific team players, make smart and strategic decisions, and become phenomenal leaders. Paramount to their success and our success is practicing something called emotional intelligence. Yet, what does that even mean?
Well, put simply, emotions, they are always at play. Feelings, they show up in our conversations and in our relationships, and we can choose to be attentive about how these emotions impact our perceptions of ourselves and others, and even about what's possible and not possible. We can choose to activate emotional intelligence to show up as cleaner communicators and collaborators.
So, how can we access our emotional intelligence so that we don't darken the water between us and others? Well, we want you to join the CIA. I mean, I know that you didn't think you were at a recruitment event, but we want you to become an investigator of emotions before you react. And applying a simple acronym can really help you improve your relationships. That acronym, you guessed it, it's CIA. And in this case, it stands for concrete, inflated, and assumptions. Think of applying CIA as an easy strategy to tap into your emotional intelligence in a world where snap reactions are ruining the day.
Well, let's start with C, which stands for concrete. When I'm in a reactive state or other people come in frustrated, angry, negative, or sad, I ask myself, is that feeling as heavy as concrete? Is that very real emotion happening to them or maybe to me? Things like anxiety, stress, trauma, sickness. And if the answer is yes, well, we work through that very real emotion as best we can. Such emotions are never deserving of blame or shame. In fact, they require great compassion and care.
If it's not a concrete emotion that needs empathy, then we're going to investigate for I, and that stands for inflated. Think about the past week that you just experienced. No doubt you had highs and lows because emotions come and they go. However, when we dwell on certain emotions, they inflate, just like this balloon. So when you find your feelings becoming stronger and stronger, acknowledge their presence, process them in a non-damaging way, and let them go. If you're with another who's experiencing inflated feelings, don't let them get carried away. Instead, help them get grounded by practicing curiosity and listening.
Okay, be honest. Has anyone ever told themselves a story that just isn't true? We all tell ourselves stories to make meaning of what's happening in the world around us. Our third letter, A, is to investigate for assumptions. So when you find yourself experiencing a really powerful emotion and you find yourself telling yourself a story, ask yourself, is this based on evidence or an assumption? For instance, maybe you're telling yourself a story that someone's angry with you or that you've disappointed someone. In those moments, you gotta interrupt that storytelling, because those assumptions, well, they can cloud the water, they amplify drama, and they can cause great damage to important relationships.
If you're with another who's having these feelings, help them gain clarity by asking questions about what's assumed and what is real. Drop the storytelling.
Okay, now, had Katie and I actually applied CIA to that first conversation we demonstrated, we would have never tainted this water. So let's go back and explore where we went sideways.
If I had applied CIA, I would have discovered that I was so rude to Jennifer. I had inflated feelings, and I made assumptions about why you sent out that proposal. It wasn't about excluding me or my input. It was to meet our very real deadline. I own that, Jennifer.
Thanks, Katie. My response, wow, it was reactive and lacked all emotional intelligence. In fact, it met heat with heat. Katie, I could have very much managed my body language, energy, and my tone so differently, so I totally own that.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah.
So, when reactive emotions are strong and present, disrupt your immediate thinking with CIA, concrete, inflated, or assumptions.
Elevating emotional intelligence, it can help us all suffer less. So let's embrace investigating our day-to-day interactions, cleaning the water for greater communication and collaboration.
Give it a try. Your relationships will thank you.
Thank you.